Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the Last Viking back again. We have a new report that a lot of people have been doing, I guess, hashtag quarantine nation or hashtag quarantine. Those are all false rumors, according to President Trump, who tweeted basically on his Twitter. What I'm seeing here is that he tweeted that it's fake news and that those are false rumors. There is no national lockdown. Specific areas are banning large groups of gatherings of 25 or more people, except for pharmacies and grocery stores. But outside, having smaller groups are okay, but having groups of 25 or more are not okay. So the text message of the rumors, a national hashtag quarantine, are fake. They tweeted, "There is no national lockdown." Instead, they pointed followers to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who they say have and will continue to post the latest guidance on COVID-19. We're going to go ahead and check that out in this next clip. Before we get into this too much, please drop a subscribe and watch this video all the way through, as it will have a lot of information that you should be aware of. So just go ahead and watch the video all the way through, share the video, and subscribe, because I always try to get more updated information coming. I've also got 4 scientists that I will be interviewing coming up here in the next days or weeks. So you really want to be tuning into this channel, because I will have face-to-face, FaceTime actually interviews with these individuals and having them on this channel. So you want to be tuned in with that. And we're going to be talking about the vaccine and stuff like that. So that questionnaire will be coming up, and I'll be having that on this YouTube channel. So you want to make sure you subscribe and share. So let's continue with this article. Just earlier in the night, the CDC made an unprecedented recommendation advising canceling or postponing in persons events with 50 people or 8 for 8 weeks throughout the United States. So now they've changed it from 25 to 50 people. So groups of 50 or more for 8 weeks, that's approximately 2 months, if you're not counting business weeks, right? So large events and mass gatherings can be contributed to the spread of the COVID-19 in the United States via travelers who attend these events and introduce the virus to new communities. The CDC said in a statement, examples of large events and mass gatherings include conferences, festivals, parades, concerts, sporting events, weddings, and other types of assemblies. These events can be planned not only by organizations and communities, but also by individuals. This recommendation is made in an attempt to reduce introduction of the virus into new communities and to slow the spread of infection in communities already affected by the virus they added. The NSC, the White House, not really quite sure what the SC stands for, probably secretary. Text message rumors of a national quarantine are fake. There is no national lockdown at CDC GOV has and will continue to post the latest guidance on hashtag COVID-19 and hashtag coronavirus. So the CDC news starting immediately for the next 8 weeks, CDC recommends canceling, it's not required, but recommends canceling all events of 50 people or more. Full recommendations here. So while the CDC insisted their recommendations did not apply to the day-to-day operations of organizations such as schools, institutions of higher learning, or businesses, many states have instituted such bans. As of Monday morning, at least 36 states have announced school closures. The Today Show, which is a news show, reported including New York City. De Blasio, who closed Broadway, has also shut down clubs, movie theaters, and concert venues starting Tuesday, and restricted restaurants and cafes to take out or deliver only. Seamless, the Grubhub, two of the biggest food delivery apps, have since said they'll be differing commission fees to help impacted restaurants. Other leaders from Illinois to Ohio announced similar nightlife closures over the weekend. The mayor of Los Angeles extended the ban to gyms. Oh no. The mayor of Miami, who tested positive for the virus himself, closed the city's beaches. California governor urged the state senior citizens to self-isolate. A growing list of retailers have also temporarily closed their stores, like Nike, The Gap, Urban Outfitters, and more. Many Starbucks locations have also shut their doors to prevent customers from sitting indoors, while a majority of their stores will be moved to a to-go model. So you'll be able to order, pick up, and go. MGM Resorts have even suspended operations at its many hotel and casino properties in Las Vegas until further notice. Nike tweeted, "With love, your Nike family. The health of the athletes around the world is our top priority. Beginning March 15th, we'll temporarily be closing stores in the select countries through March 27th. You still can shop online at Nike.com and the Nike app, but more importantly, stay healthy and active with us via Nike Training Club and Nike Run Club apps. We'll continue to monitor the situation closely, and we'll all get through this together." The Gap tweeted, "Today we announced reduced store hours in U.S. and Canada. Details here." The Urban Outfitters tweeted, Wow, that was a mistweet. "Our goal has always been to provide you with safe spaces to come together, laugh, and be inspired. In the meantime, we're here to answer questions, keep you entertained, and to continue to engage in our Urban Outfitters community. However, we can take care of ourselves." Starbucks tweeted, "In accordance with the social distancing guidance from the CDC and public health authorities, we are temporarily closing stores in some locations and moving the majority of our company-operated stores to a to-go model across the U.S. and Canada." MGM Resorts has announced its decision to temporarily suspend operation at its Las Vegas properties until further notice, effective as of Tuesday, March 17th. So related U.S. cases with coronavirus top 1,600. Here's a map of the spread. All of the drastic social distancing moves are in an attempt to slow down the spread of the coronavirus, which experts say can be asymptomatic during its 5 to 14-day incubation period. Asymptomatic means basically that you don't show symptoms, but yet you're still highly contagious. So you're one person that you're basically just have a like a slight little, I'll do a rendition of it. It doesn't even have to be like a deep, mucusy, wet cough. Just a light cough are what some of the symptoms of some of the patients that have had COVID-19 are expressing. And while the country has yet to go into a national quarantine like Italy, Spain, and France, health experts said Monday one might be on the way, especially after many Americans gathered at bars over the weekend for St. Patrick's Day celebration. It's just an expectation, but I believe we eventually will have to implement a national quarantine. NBC News medical contributor Dr. Joseph Fair told Today, if it continues the way it is, of not taking it seriously, because if everyone is not on the same pace, if you have half the people that are out at bars and restaurants partying and half the people who are not, it's not going to work. I don't know if there's a time to avoid that fate of Italy, but there is still time, and there is no choice, frankly, that we start now and take a week to plan a 14-day shutdown of all non-essential services across the country," Fair continued. There can be more found on the People's News Media, their outlet. We're going to go ahead and continue into the next article here, where I will be covering some of Trump's messages that he's been delivering and what's been going on. So continue to watch. We got more updated stories coming in this video. So just keep watching and subscribe and share. Watch the videos all the way through. Thank you so much. And here we go.
Families.
All right, so here we go. We got a speech from President Trump. We're going to go ahead and tune in right now. Let's go ahead and turn this up.
Self-isolation for a period of 14 days as the World Health Organization, before them of Europe. Like our earlier very aggressive actions with China, this measure will save countless lives. I appreciate a number of the folks behind me, number of the people behind me said that that saved a lot of lives at early designation. But it is only the beginning of what we're really doing, and now we're in a different phase. We had some very old and obsolete rules that we had to live with. It worked under certain circumstances, but not under mass circumstances. They were there for a long time, they were in place for a long time, and we're breaking them down now. And they're very usable for certain instances, but not for this. To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words. The action I am taking will open up access to up to $50 billion of very important and a large amount of money for states and territories and localities in our shared fight against this disease. In furtherance of the order, I'm urging every state to set up emergency operation centers effective immediately. You're going to be hearing from some of the largest companies and greatest retailers and medical companies in the world. They're standing right behind me and side of me. I'm also asking every hospital in this country to activate its emergency preparedness plan so that they can meet the needs of Americans everywhere. The hospitals are very engaged. New York and various other places are also very engaged. I just spoke with Governor Cuomo. We had a very good conversation, and we're working very strongly with many states, including New York.
But until I had done that, the outcry worldwide from nurses, always under the tongue, always under the tongue. And they were absolutely correct, if they're using a thermometer that's calibrated for under the tongue. Now here, we have our temperature taken 4 to 5 times a day by the nurses, and every single one under the arm. Okay, so it depends on the thermometer. That's the first thing. The cough. Now, early in quarantine, we both developed a cough, and we put it down to the air conditioning on the ship, because we've done lots of cruises, and I'm not trying to boast, I'm just telling you how it is. We've done lots of cruises, and virtually every single cruise we are coughing because of the air conditioning. This was quite different because now we're confined to the cabin, so we were coughing more, but we still were putting it down to the air conditioning. And with hindsight, it was total denial. You know, we didn't recognize it for what it was. It was one of the very first signs of the coronavirus.
Other countries. Unofficial modeling studies by a number of institutions claim infections of over 150,000. The alarming speed of transmission is in part because the virus spreads through the air and by touch. Using the power of 3D medical animation, this video covers what is a pandemic, how this coronavirus is spreading, how coronavirus attacks the body, and what are recommended precautions to take for protecting against epidemics. Pandemics indicate outbreaks of disease that spread to cover an entire region or the world. A pandemic can result in massive loss of life. In the last 100 years, there have been 4 global pandemics, the worst with the 1918 influenza pandemic, resulting in an estimated 50 to 100 million deaths. While no global pandemic has been born from the family of coronavirus, 2 regional epidemics have resulted from this family of viruses. They include severe acute respiratory syndrome, or SARS, and Middle East respiratory syndrome, or MERS, in 2001 to 2003.
And he said, you have to understand, my father's heart was broken one time because he lost a son. And now the thought of losing this other son, Judas said, my father is going to go to the grave in sorrow. He said, I can't bear the thought of not bringing this younger brother home. And folks, if you can hear what the Holy Spirit is speaking today, this is the prayer, this is the type of prayer of a church that leaves the focus of itself and says, God Almighty, I have a younger brother. There's another generation coming. There's a generation after us. There are people born after us. It's not all about ourselves. And my father's heart is going to be broken if I don't bring him home. I've got to bring him home. And Judas stands there before the throne and he says, listen, I am willing to be made a slave. I offer you my own comfort. I offer you my freedom. I offer you my future to secure my brother's release. This is the intercession that God answers. The man or woman standing before the throne of God and say, Lord, I've settled the issue. My sin is dealt with at Calvary. I've settled the issue. You're going to provide for me in the future. You said so, and I believe it. And so I'm laying that down. But God, there's something I'm supposed to be doing in this world. There's a commission. And if you're to be seen in this generation, somehow my heart's got to be gripped with your heart. The reason you came to this earth has got to be the reason I continue to live on this earth. You came that none should perish, but all should find forgiveness and everlasting salvation through the cross that you were about to bear on Calvary.
Whatever you ask the Father in my name, he will give it to you. Until now, you have asked nothing in my name. Ask and you will receive, that your joy might be full. Now, this is available to people like you and I who are saying, God, I want the power to live my life for the sake of other people. I don't want people in this world to die because in their sin, because they have failed to see you in me. God, I recognize my limitations to reach them. I recognize the limitations of my physical body, of my natural mind, of my natural heart. I recognize, God, that I don't have the strength to go there, but it's going to be in the strength of your victory that you're going to make me into another person and you're going to bring glory to your own name through me. And so I'm asking you now to show me, God, what you purchased for my life, what the trip is that you have for my feet ahead of me. And I'm asking you, Lord, to send me into this mountain of confused and hurting humanity and make a difference for your glory and for your kingdom's sake. Oh, God.